and Henry found themselves deeper in the cursed mansion's grip. Strange whispers echoed from the walls. A broken doll seemed to move on its own, and a haunted mirror revealed the veiled figure of a ghostly bride. The past was clawing its way into the present, and with each step, the trio discovered that this was not just a haunting, it was a trap. The episode ended with a blood-chilling whisper. "She's still watching." The veil of silence is torn, and the mansion begins to speak. Ryan begins to lose sleep, haunted by the image of the bride in the mirror. Alina finds a journal hidden behind a crumbling wall, its pages filled with cryptic warnings and sorrowful love letters. Henry hears voices no one else does. The mansion is alive, and now it wants something from each of them. But the question is, will they listen before it's too late? The library seemed to shrink around them, the walls pressing inward as if trying to trap them with the suffocating weight of history. Dust swirled in the dim candlelight. Fear gnawed at their hearts, but determination burned brighter. Ryan wiped the sweat from his brow. "The one who betrayed her. We have to find who it was," he said. "But how?" Alina's voice cracked. "The mansion is filled with centuries of secrets." Henry, scanning the bookshelves, pulled out an ancient map tucked between the pages of an old volume. "Look," he said, unrolling it carefully. "The mansion had more than just what we've seen. There are secret rooms, hidden places." One spot on the map was marked with a strange symbol, a closed eye. "That's where we start," Ryan said grimly. Navigating the labyrinthine halls, guided by the fading map, they stumbled upon a corridor they hadn't seen before. The walls here were different, lined with mirrors cracked and blackened by time. As they walked, their reflections lagged behind them, moving seconds after they had. Alina gasped. "Our reflections, they're watching us," Henry whispered. At the end of the corridor was a heavy wooden door, sealed shut with rusted iron chains. An inscription above it read, "Only the bearer of regret shall open the way." Confused, they stood staring at each other until Henry, almost in a trance, reached out. As soon as his hand touched the chain, the locks shattered, falling to the ground with a sound like shattering glass. "Why you?" Ryan asked, suspicious. I don't know," Henry said, his voice hollow. Inside the room was a single object, a faded portrait. A family, dressed in regal clothing, stared out from the canvas. At the center stood Mira, her smile fragile and distant. Standing next to her was a man, her cousin, Felix. Underneath the portrait, scrawled hastily, was a line, "Blood betrayed blood. Love fell to ruin." Henry stumbled back, his face pale. "I know this man. My grandfather told me stories." Felix was jealous. "He loved Mira, but she rejected him," Alina gasped. "Then it was Felix who betrayed her. He exposed her plan to the family. And Henry," Ryan said slowly, realization dawning, "you are Felix's descendant." The mansion groaned, almost as if reacting to the revelation. The air thickened. Suddenly, the mirrors lining the corridor shattered, and from the shards, dark, writhing figures poured out. Spectres of the past. Mira's cries echoed around them, a symphony of agony and rage. "You must atone," a voice shrieked. Henry dropped to his knees, his hands trembling. "I'm sorry," he cried. "I'm not him. I am not Felix. Please." But the spectres advanced, their hollow eyes filled with hate. Ryan grabbed Henry's shoulder. "You have to make it right. Only you." "But how?" Henry wept. Alina's eyes darted around and landed on an ancient dagger mounted on the wall, a relic once used in ceremonies of repentance. She ripped it free and thrust it into Henry's hands. "Swear an oath. Redeem your bloodline." With trembling hands, Henry held the dagger to his chest and shouted into the roaring chaos, "I vow to right the wrong, to free the soul unjustly trapped, to pay for the sins of my blood with my loyalty and my life." The shadows froze. The whirlwind of hatred halted, as if the very walls of the mansion were holding their breath. And then light. A brilliant, searing light exploded outward, banishing the darkness. In the center of the ballroom, Mira's spirit appeared once more. But this time, her eyes were not hollow, they were filled with tears. "You have freed me," she whispered. The chains that bound her soul shattered. Her red bridal dress turned pure white, and with a final, sorrowful smile, she began to ascend into a column of light. The mansion trembled, its curse lifting. Walls cracked and crumbled. Vines burst through broken windows, and the heavy doors swung open, releasing the trio into the cool embrace of the night. They stumbled outside just as the first light of dawn touched the horizon. Behind them, the mansion groaned one last time and collapsed into ruins. Ryan, Alina, and Henry stood in silence, watching the ancient evil finally fall into dust. Freedom, redemption, a love that even death could not silence had finally found peace. And as the sun rose, they knew some stories end not with fear, but with forgiveness. But deep within the earth, beneath the ruins, a faint whisper lingered. Not all shadows can be destroyed. To be continued. As night falls and the whispers grow louder, the trio stumbles upon a room sealed for decades. Inside, a bridal dress, bloodstained and untouched by time. And then the mirror cracks. A scream. Darkness. Next episode, the room that shouldn't exist. Subscribe and stay with us, because now, the mansion knows your name.